Hi guys, welcome back to the flight. Apologies for the delay that happened with the pause. Not really too sure what happened there, but we are back. We can get ready to do that approach one more time into Lugano as we want to get to Aosta Valley this evening. So we're going to basically line up for Adina. VNAV paths in. We are ready to start the approach again. As we've got 256 on our speed, once we come in, as there's no descent path after Calcoa or Adina, 250 as we put in 221. Okay, 221 for Adina, which is fine. Aircraft will start to decel as we get near. Then we can try this approach again and see where we get off to. As I don't know why we got that sudden pause with the aircraft. So as we come down, we'll make that left-hand turn as we get ready to do the IGS approach. Got the 108.9, which are in on both sides, and the 017 course, which is checked and cross-checked. Overhead, got landing lights, runway turn-off lights, which are all on. Engine start switches are continuous. I've just followed back now on for the VNAV profile, and we get ready to come down onto that descent. For Caldo, it says no descent, which is fine. 6,000 above for Caldo. And 6,000 above for Caldo, which is in. Once we come in for Pinnock, we descend down for 6,000 feet. We'll probably put 6,000 in there, that should be fine for us actually. There we go. Okay, steep descent, which is fine. That's why the aircraft's going to slow down. Once we do come in, as we get the vertical profile in, ready for us to come down. So, we'll arm the speed brake once we do slow the aircraft down. Steep descent after Adina, which is fine, to 9,005 for Lugano. Lugano is going to be 221. I was going to slow down to 180. Okay, put 180 in, which will be crossed, which will be set, and that'll be us all set to come in. So we'll try the approach one more time, see how the aircraft fares. The aircraft's fully set up, ready to go. VNAV paths in, so we're just waiting for the vertical deviation to come down, and then we'll start to decel the aircraft. As you'll see, the speed tape now start to come down slowly but surely as we've got our decel point, which is right here. So everything's all on, everything's all back to normal. We'll try the approach one more time as we come down. At the decel point, speed tape's going to start to drop now, down to 210. Then we'll make that left-hand turn to track in for Adina onto the 118. Okay, the 118, which is in and checked. $14,004. Speed brakes can now be opened. As we slow all the way down now, 221, then down to 180. 118's in on the track. As I make that left hand turn now for Adina, steep descent down to Lugano. Okay, speed brake can go in. There's an next decel for 180. As the aircraft's now going to descend. Speed brakes can stay open. Passing through 13,006. As we come down for 9,005. Okay, still in VNAV path. Also come back to idle. as it's just lagging a little. That brings back down to our 180. Just before we make the turn to go over the localizer, we'll then switch over and start to drop our flap settings. This aircraft's going to come in hot. Got tailwind as well. So yeah, I don't know what happened with the sim when it decided to lock up. There's a speed tape now moving to 180. Once we reach just under 10, the aircraft will level off, then we'll start to slow the aircraft down in for the approach. So the aircraft's fully configured now. 9005 for Lugano, then we continue that descent down to 6000 above. Hey, there's that right hand turn, still coming in nice and hot, passing through 10,000 feet. There's a lift up, the aircraft will start to decel. We'll get down into our flap settings. See, we've got the IGS in now for the 108.9 for the 017. VNAV speeds in as we've lost the vertical deviation. So keep that coming down to capture in. Okay, under 250 we can open flaps as well. Hey Benji, my man, good evening pal. Hope you're doing well, my man. Hey, VNAV's out as we capture the vertical deviation point. So we descend down just a little bit more. 1400, 6000 above is required. 0.3 we want back on the RMP. Yeah, we just had a freeze, so just come back in and yeah, gone back down. So flaps up and now in. Vertical deviation point can come through. We'll slow down to 175. Let's go in onto that left. We need to get the aircraft fully slowed down. So yeah, it's a bit of a rush and go on this one. It was fully set up, but then the aircraft decided to do some funny business. When I was clicking on the FMC, it decided to freeze it up for some reason. So not really sure why. Not really sure why at all. We're flying with Austrian, got the Star Alliance in this evening. So as we come down under 210, I'm going to get the flaps 10 in. It needs to be fully configured by the time we do get down. This 7006. Vertical deviation should start coming up. Then we can go back into VNAV path. We don't really need VNAV path now necessarily. 7004, yeah, up to 1000, which will be checked. Okay. Pass through 7002, speed brakes can now be armed, okay, which are checked. 180, spin in onto that left. Okay, it's passed through 6008, 15, gear down. Okay, I'm going to activate the approach as well. Okay. Just coming in, let's check the nav fixes. Then we're coming for the approach, we've got ready and set. 108.917, 108.917, which will come in. And we'll drop down into our 145. Which is in and checked. So I was just waiting now. 5,000 feet for Caldo. And we got 145 coming in for the approach. So 144. So that's all checked and set. And we're now ready to start our glide path down into the runway. There's a single channel come in. 5,000 feet, the aircraft's going to hold. Auto brake set to max. Just see the airport's just over here in our direction. As we come down, there's the airport right there. It's going to be a steep one. Okay, so landing checklist, flaps 40, green light, gears down, 3 green, auto brake set for max. Yeah, definitely. The landing's always the best part. Can't agree on that, mate. Landing lights and everything are all set, packs are on, bleeds are on, and cabin has been advised. So we're all ready to come down, then we'll spin around and then get down for Aosta for the valley approach. So it's going to be a 6-degree descent profile when we come down. Caldo is where the glide slope is going to start. Then we're going to start that descent down all the way to the runway. Didn't put the minimums in, as obviously we had to reset. So let's get ready to go. That's a very, very steep descent down. Jesus. There's the glide slope, straight away down. Let's see what the aircraft does. Yeah, it's a 6-degree glide path. This airliner wouldn't land there, so, well, don't know, maybe, but yeah, it's a 6-degree, so it's very steep. It's going to be about 1,500 to 2,000 feet per minute. Let's come back down to 144. Speed brakes are armed. As we now capture some of the views on our way down. Very, very steep.
Caution, terrain.
Very, very steep indeed.
Caution, terrain. Caution, terrain.
Oh, terrain check.
Caution, terrain. Caution, terrain.
Very steep profile.
Caution, terrain, terrain, terrain. Pull up.
Not today.
Terrain, terrain. Pull up.
Not today.
Terrain, terrain. Pull up.
So,
Terrain, terrain. Pull up.
as we come down,
Terrain.
that is very, very steep.
Terrain, terrain. Pull up.
So I'm going to make it even steeper,
Terrain.
so we can't get down.
Pull up.
Just going to the autopilot. Auto throttle is disconnected.
Pull up. Terrain, terrain. Pull up. Terrain, terrain. Pull up.
Couldn't even tell if we'll make it down, but we will today.
Pull up.
Not today.
Pull up. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up. Terrain, terrain. Pull up. 10.
Okay, speed brakes are up, and reversers are active. Okay, reversers can be stowed, manual braking, and welcome to Lugano. That was some steep descent. That's probably the steepest descent I've ever done in my life on the sim. Welcome to Lugano. As we are here, that was one hell of a descent. As we get ready to turn around now, slow the aircraft down to a stop. To get to turn around. For some reason when the wheels lock up, they sort of, don't know, they go a little bit more forward than usual. But yeah, there we are down in Lugano. Some steep ass descent, I tell you. Okay, we'll taxi back taxi the runway. Yeah, definitely super intense on some of them approaches. It's the best part. I do like setting the aircraft up, but the approach is always the best part, you know. Getting the aircraft set up, all ready to go, and then getting the approach all set up, ready to leave. So we get the flaps back all up as we go back up to the end. But yeah, definitely that was some steep descent. So once we get into the stand, we're going to spin around, get ready to blast back out, and then go for Aosta or Aosta Valley in for the other IGS approach. But yeah, that was super steep, super steep. Okay, flaps are fully in. And welcome to Lugano. Go down to the end, make a right hand turn. Go to stand, and then we'll get the aircraft all ready to come back out for Aosta. Oh, that was really steep. That's a 6-degree glide path. Okay, as we get ready to turn on, probably going to get a little bit choppy as we turn in. Okay, just off to 1.6. Strobes can now go off to steady, landing lights, runway turn off lights, engine start switches which can go off. Now we're going to get the APU which is on as well. Which is set. Going to take a little stand right here. Which is set. So we got the parking brake on. Wait for the APU to come over, and then we'll set the aircraft up ready to go back out into a lovely sortie for Italy as we come in for Aosta Valley, ready for another IGS approach. So EGT is just coming down now. We'll wait for that to come over, then we'll get the APU all on, and then we'll reset the aircraft up ready to go. We'll get the APU gen on. Okay. There's gens 1 and 2, which are set. Can now switch off the engines 1 and 2. Okay, that's us ready to go. Aircraft's all in and set. Go in, get the ground services. So chocks can be set as well. Request the ground power. Stairs will be inhibited until the engines switch off. And then that'll be us ready to set the aircraft up. Ready to go. So we can extend the air stairs. Have a look at that. Okay. Engine inhibit. So just wait for them to go out. And that'll be us. We can set the aircraft in. Get the stairs all in as well. So air stairs inhibit, so maybe the door opens as well with it. That's us all done and ready to go in for the next flight. So terrain radar can be turned off, which will get set. Turned off on both sides. And in a few moments time we'll reset the aircraft up, and then we'll get ready to leave out on our next flight of the evening. So Need to go and get the Topa performance as well for the Topcat, which is going to be leaving out for our departure runway. Also need to go and get our flight for the arrival. Okay, so for takeoff, we're leaving out Lugano. We're going to leave 01, so the same way we came in, we're going to leave out of. Check the weights as well, and then we'll get the Topcat performance. That should be us all ready to leave. Quick turnaround as well, not very high for us, Aosta, should I say. So we're going to get our fuel and everything. 65, we're going to have 0.2 for reserves. Top of climb, which can come in. Let's go and update the QNH. Tell the Topcat our weight coming out, which is going to be 62.2. Okay, optimum, compute up. Aircraft exceeds its limit, so we can go down. We go down for 58 tons. That should be fine for us. We should get off then. Flaps 25 plus 6. Okay, so that's fine for us. And that's coming out as 58 tons of fuel. So we just load the aircraft up, get that all set to come in. I'll leave the Topcat open. So 58 tons, payload 7762, leaving with our fuel today, which is going to be 6.5. Okay, return. Payload will be next to nothing. Okay, there's 58 on the dot, which is set. So as we switch over the ground power now, okay, which is set. APU will turn that off for now. I'll just get the aircraft fully configured. So Lima Sierra Zulu Alpha coming in, and the arrival is going to be Lima India Mike Whiskey. Okay, we're going to be departing out of runway 01, going direct to Lugano. It's going to be straight up, so I'm just going to follow it straight up and out, so I'm not going to bother messing around with any SID departure. From direct to Lugano, then go direct to Pinnock, and from Pinnock, the Zulu Alpha 557. That might just be here. And then we've got the Zulu Alpha 558. Then we're going to take a direct to Bavmi. Bavmi is going to take us direct all the way to Sierra Victor Charlie. And then from Sierra Victor Charlie is direct in. So Sierra Victor Charlie, I'll probably change that off, can activate that, but I'm going to take the arrival in. So we'll just get up the flight plan and then we can get ready to leave, as there is an arrival in that we need to follow. Okay, so Lima Sierra Zulu Alpha, Lima India Mike Whiskey. Okay, create that up, open the charts. For taxi, check out some SIDs, see what SIDs have got. KN1. So from Cannes, we're just going to come straight out as we've got Pinnock in the Zulu Alpha 557. So we're going to follow straight out on the departure anyway, so we don't really need that, as we've got that set on the flight plan. Coming in for the arrival. Now you can see for the stars we need the Sierra Mike Romeo, which is going to take us to Serrano, and then that's us in for the approach, which brings us in the vicinity chart, which we come in for the arrival. I've got the approach, which is in. It's pretty much like a visual, so I'll get that all set in for us as we come in for Aosta. Okay, so I managed to take a screenshot of the arrival chart to come in for Aosta. For Aosta, we've got Bravo Lima Alpha, so I'm just going to select that in for the arrival. I'll switch things up as we come through. Toronto Yankee, and we're coming in for our arrival of 09. Okay, there's nothing to come in for. It's going to be the IGS anyway once we arrive through. Okay, so once we come in for our fixes from Sierra Victor Charlie, we want to get rid of that and put the Bravo Lima Alpha in. Okay, it's going to be fine as there isn't no arrival there. Okay, then we've got the Charlie Sierra Foxtrot, and that brings us all the way down to runway 9, Sierra Romeo November. Let's just have a look at that quick. It's going to be a little complicated one today as we come in. Sierra Romeo November, Serrano, and then on to Bibcook. So I'll get everything set up once we come in for the arrival, and I'll just see the parts where we're going to ride in, so I'm not really too bothered about that. I'll set that up once we're in the air. Let's get the perf and the request the weights, and then once we get up into the air, I'll sort out the FMC, ready for us to come in for that arrival. So it should be all good. Should be a nice, interesting approach as we come down into the runway as well. So there we go, we'll load it through, get everything set in, get our cost index, etc. So cost index is going to be 48. Okay. Insufficient fuel because we're obviously running around. So what I'll quickly do is I'll quickly change that up. I'm going to go direct from blank. Delete that all up. So black, which we can put in from Bibcook. Okay, and then FCV, which is going to come in over there. Okay, so the FMC is going to look a little bit mad right now. Well, not to worry. Get it all set up. Okay, Saron. Okay, and that's pretty much the departure route when we leave. Pretty much straightforward. To leave out all the way up, all the way down. So what we need to do is, there is Aosta. You can see as we come through on the flight plane. This should be quite a mad one. So we go up to the steps. There's Bravo Lima Alpha. So we take Bravo Lima Alpha out. Yeah, it's going to be a pretty crazy one, this one is. Then we'll see over to Charlie. So they're both too far away. Then we've got runway 09 coming in. It's for the Lima India Mike Whiskey. So we're just going to have a look at the charts one more time. And we can set that all up. So Sierra Victor Charlie. Initial approach fix Bravo Lima Alpha, which is in, not 900 nautical miles away though, so I don't know why that's there. Sierra Victor Charlie coming through. So what we can do is we'll do a different sort of approach. We'll put the SCS in. Let's see if we can get SCS through. Right, so SCS. Okay, we'll put SCS for that. Okay. Bravo Lima Alpha. Okay, delete Sierra Charlie. Got Sierra Charlie there. That should go in for runway 09 there. Okay. Enable cruise altitude, we'll sort that out as well. We'll go to the path 40, flight level 220. So we're going to run this approach sort of manually, as there isn't really any charts or anything for us coming in. We'll get the approach for the arrival, as we've got the top 3 Yankee. So actually I'll take the Saron, could take Saron in, it's coming on left, but we'll just erase that off. So we're going to go direct to Sierra Charlie, and that should be us all coming in for the runway. So it's very quite simple. So that's where the runway is, where it's sitting. We'll run overhead and then we'll come in for the approach and get the aircraft fully configured, which should be all good for us. So we'll go in and get everything, that's all good. I'm going to set everything up. Got a 6 on the D rate, it should be 97. We've got 97%, that's what we need anyway, so that's fine. Flaps 25, it's going to be a 121, a 122 and a 134. 134, which is set. Auto brakes RTO. Get the APU back up and started. So we are now ready to go. We said that we was going in on our reference 220. Okay, 220, which is in. And the airport's elevation, which I've got on the charts, is 177, so I put it for 1800 feet. So I don't know why the fixes aren't coming in for the airport, but either way we're going to crack on and get the aircraft set up. We'll have a look once we get over near to the airport, and then we can sort of manipulate ourselves in as we come through. So for takeoff, everything's there, centre of gravity. I'm not going to go too in depth with the aircraft on this flight. 134, leaving for 220. Okay, which is checked. So that's pretty much us all set in for the departure. It's very quick, as we don't need to really be too high. 220 is probably even too high. Once we come in on the approach, we need to be able to fly level 150, so we can leave that for around 17. Okay, switch that back in. 170. Okay, which is also in. Everything there is all set. Enable cruise altitude because it's probably so short away, but we'll roll it out in level change. I'm not going to fly about too tough. So auto throttle can be turned on. Auto brake is RTO. Isolation valves open. Get packs off. Switch over the APU gen, switch that through, APU bleed can come on, and we are now ready and set to leave and go and see what's going on in the airport basically. Let's go and shut our doors, get them all done, retract that. Okay. Ground services. Okay, external power's removed. Okay, and we're ready to go. Okay, straight out. Let's start it up. Packs are off.
Go ahead. We've been cleared for pushback and start tail straight out. Roger that. Ready for push straight back.
Hey, thanks, my man. This is going to be a pretty, this is going to be one just flying it blind pretty much.
Brakes released.
Once we get down, I'm going to put a hold in as well for the airport, so we can sort of circle around and then get ourselves prepared in for the approach. So we will have a little look, because there is no approach charts. There is an IGS approach which I've got a screenshot of, so I've got it, but you won't be able to see it. So I'm going to put a hold in at the airport's vicinity. We can fly overhead and then we can see why the VORs aren't going in where they should be. There's a 1161 for Bravo Lima Alpha, and then we've got an NDB for the Sierra Victor Charlie, so they don't want to go in. So we'll go over near to the airport and then we'll get everything all set up ahead then. So there's 27%, number 2 can come in. So EGT is now increasing for engine number 2. We're just pushing back pretty much, so we can then come back out onto the runway. There's Lugano, and we'll basically do a turnaround as we depart.
Pushback complete. Parking brake set.
Okay, parking brake can be set. So this is going to be one sort of flying it a bit blind. So we'll go over near to the airport, and then we'll set ourselves up accordingly as we need. So 56%, start to cut outs back.
Alright, steering pin is disconnected. Watch for the
Engine number 1 now, start valve is open. So I don't know why the fixes ain't going in for the airport. So when we get the hold in at the airport, we can go and have a look, and we can see exactly what's going on, and see if they will actually go in. So there's 24, there's 25, which is in and checked. Have a look at that vicinity chart as well, just to see what altitudes are around the airport. So when we put the hold in, we can just have a little look. Okay, so 10, 12, 10. So I'll be high and dry. There's a low ILS DME 10975 Aosta for the CSC or SCS, which is there, which we've got in SCS. So I'm going to hold off there, and then we'll backtrack up from the runway, as I've got the fixes and everything, and then we can just take it from there and just see how we go. So we're coming in on the arrival, which is going to be for the 268 as it's offset by 5 degrees. The 10975 for the India Alpha Oscar Sierra coming in with the offset localizer. So the inbound is 268, which means the outbound radial is going to be take 2 plus 2. So it's going to be 088 coming back out. So if we put a hold in CSCS, the inbound is going to be the 088. Left turn, 1 minute. Target altitude, I'm not going to hold in for that altitude. Altitude can be for 150 if we can get that in. There we go, 150. And 207, that will basically be our flaps up. So when we look down on the chart now, and come in, there is that's where our runway's sitting pretty much on the 268. We're gonna basically just run around. We'll come back out onto the 088, run that back up the runway, and then basically come in. So for the radial outbound, you'd take 2 plus 2. For the inbound course track, you'd plus 2 take 2. So that's us all set up now, ready to go. Engine number 1, I think we haven't set in, which is checked. So we'll go over here to get the gens 1 and 2 set over. Gen 1's already in. Pro-Peats, which can be turned on. Pats can be auto. Isolation valves auto. Bleeds can be turned on. APU bleed off. With the APU, engine start switches are continuous. Tell the cabin that we are ready to go. And that is us all set. So we'll play it by ear. There's flaps 25 coming in. Okay, Type 25, which is in. We're looking to come straight back out. So yeah, it's going to be one that we just play by ear on this one. Definitely just play it by ear on this one today. So we go in, you get the taxi charts. It's going to be the airport's regulations, airport's info, which we've got here for the minimums. Airport and parking, let's check that. There's 01. We come straight out, so we're going to really need a 19 departure to come straight out off the runway. No descent path, which we know. Departure, we'll put in for 19. Takeoff speed's deleted, which is fine. Go back in and take off. V1, 2, 3. Nothing's changed. We're all ready to go. Taxi lights, centre of gravity is 258, so I'm just going to leave that where it needs to be. That will help us along, and we can now release the brakes and taxi on up to the end of the runway. So, wish us luck. It's going to be one of them funky ones this evening. There's a left hand turn, taxi on down, back taxi the runway. So yeah, it's going to be a funky one. So we've got the holding, which we've got over the airport. I've got the actual charts for the approach. I'll stick the localizer in, see what happens, see if it actually does work. If it doesn't, then we'll plan ahead and we'll get something sorted out. So there's the strobes which are on. We're going to back taxi now to the end of the runway. So yeah, it's going to be a funny one for sure, but we've got the holding down the bottom of the runway, so that's fine. We should be all set to come in, and we can sort of plan ahead once we get to the runway. So it shouldn't be too bad. Once we turn around, we don't need Lugano, so we can kick that out, go straight direct to Pinnock, and then we'll stay at 170. Got 1.5 down for the hold. So we can plan ahead. Everything's all planned and fine. For some reason they haven't got the charts for the actual airport, so we'll get them in and we'll get it all sorted. Thanks to everybody who subscribed this evening, really do appreciate the support, as we are flying live every evening, so be sure to check it out. I thought there would have been some charts, so it's a good job that I did screenshot the actual arrival chart for the IGS, so we'll just see if that does come in and then we can follow that down. It's not putting in none of the VORs either that are meant to be there, so I'm not really sure what's going on. But we are going to get down to Aosta this evening. So, cabin crew, take your seats for departure. It's very choppy over that side for some reason. There's something over there that's clearly upsetting the aircraft. Let me just turn around. Once we move out of that area, you'll see the aircraft goes back to normal then, so I don't know what that actually is. We'll be back on the PC in a few days anyway, so that'll be taken care of. Very, very short runway indeed. Okay, and we're ready to go. Okay, so I'm going to put the direct in for Pinnock, which is fine. That should give us LNAV when we come out. That will come out at 400 feet. 194, so we'll give that 996. Okay, 196. Landing lights which are all on and checked, and we are now ready to go. So I'm going to pop the brakes in, I'm going to get full power as we get ready to blast out, get 80% in, then select and run out, and stabilised, and toga. Airspeed live. Check, throw hold. 100 neutral on the column.
Rotate.
Rotate.
Positive rate of climb.
Gear up. steep climb out.
Terrain. Pull up.
Lap 15 we should be south 400 feet and now become engaged, which is also checked. Speed up now. Onto up speed, put 220 in, that'd be fine for us. As we fly through, flaps 15. Climb speed's now in, start to come down. Okay, flaps 5. Auto brake can be turned off. Flaps 1, speed check. Once it through 3007. Oh, very choppy out. Now we just brush over the mountains. MC speed, VNAV profile can now go in. Okay, flaps up, chart checked, CMDA can go in, and we are ready now on our way. So, runway turn-off lights, taxis are all off, and on our way to see what's going to happen with this arrival. Okay, as we brake off, 5007, then going to brake left, reset the MCP altitude. I'm going to keep that, everything can stay there for us. Take that right hand turn onto 231. Okay, 231, as we don't really need that now, I'm going to go into level change. 6,000 feet, up to 2300. Okay, which is also checked. Unrestricted climb out. As now bolt through. So something's triggering something over in that side with a performance aspect for some reason. Not sure what. Ah, there's the top of climb, which is within view. As we come in, we've got the hold in as well. There's the top of descent. As we go up 300, landing lights can now be turned off, which are checked and set. QNHs can go over to 1013. As we pass 4,000 feet now, on the per minute. So after takeoff checklist, gears up and off, flaps are up, no lights, auto brakes off, landing lights are up, packs are auto, bleeds are on, and we're going to leave the seatbelt signs on for now. Whilst the aircraft now flies up to flight level 220. Passing 10,000 feet. So this is going to be just one of them approaches. Basically we're just going to have to play it by ear. When we're up going into the hold, we can then have a look and see exactly what's going on down in Aosta. Otherwise very choppy over on that side, but we are going over onto that side as well. That's going to take us onto our right hand turn to the 274. Okay, we've just checked. Terrain can go on. TRA's on as well. Okay, so onwards and upwards we go. So there should be a NDB called Sierra Victor Charlie. Now we've got the Sierra Charlie Sierra and the hold. When we get into the hold we can have a look and see exactly what's going on. 44 nautical miles until we get there, passing through 15,000 feet, ready to make our next right hand turn. So there's a right hand turn. You can see our top of descent, which is right there. I'm going to hold 220 till the hold. And then we'll drop that down to 15 and drop down into the airport. Okay, you can see the decel point. Once we get there, there's the hold. So what I want to do is, I want to see on here, I want to see where the Sierra Victor is, which we've got, but it won't pick it up on the FMC. So it's called the Sierra Victor Charlie. So let me just click that in. The NDB is the 418. So there's a Sierra Victor Charlie. Okay, so once we come under the hold, I want to go to the Sierra Victor Charlie, which you can do. So we could basically put a hold in at the Sierra Victor Charlie. Okay, it says Sierra Victor Charlie, which is in. Okay, I'm going to put a hold in. That's going to be inbound onto the 268. We'll put the 265. Okay, so take that legs out. All around's around 10,000 feet. We need to stay within that vicinity, so we can take around. We take left to right hand turns, there's only 6,000 in the vicinity, so what I'm going to do is, there's no descent path as we're going to take it in, so we delete the hold. Okay, go to Sierra Victor Charlie. Back to our legs, put runway 09 in, put a hold in at Sierra Victor Charlie. Inbound course, it's going to be the 268. Okay, leg time will be 1 minute, and we're going to take right hand turns, which should be fine for us. So we're going to could take left hand turns, that will keep us out of the way. Oops, there we go. Okay, that'll switch over onto the other side. So take left hand turns coming to the 268, and then we can sort of get the aircraft established to come in as we're going to ride it down. So it's right down in this valley right here, and also need to change the flight altitude, which is going to be 4150. That's where the VOR is, and the NDB needs to be at 9004. Okay, so 9004. Execute that off. Okay, altitude constraint 9004. Gonna go into the hold now. Okay, so that's fine. I'm just going to leave it like that. LNAV's going to follow in. We'll start to descend the aircraft and basically just hope for the best. Let's get this course in as well, so we can set up for the IGS. The IGS meant to be the 109.75. Let's see if that comes in. Okay, so it has come in, which is fine. Get the 109.75 in. Okay. Okay, which is set. Landing lights can go on when we turn off lights, which are checked. Taxis, everything else is all set for us. Now, as we get ready to descend down, we can take the constraint off, put it to 9,400. Okay, so it is an altitude constraint, so I'm not going to even bother with that, that's fine. We can start the descent down now. Okay, let's allow speed all the way down to 200. Okay, that'll take us to our flaps up. Slowly descend down 1,000 feet per minute. 1,004. Okay. As we come down to this turn, the speed brakes are open. Get our landing speeds. That should be us 5453. Steep descent after that. That's fine. So 0.3, 56.6. Okay, 130 plus 5. The QNH is coming down. As the aircraft slows through 250. Okay, 1025, which is the QNH. 240 at 9 coming in. Does it now just fly around, and then we'll get the aircraft fully set, ready to come through. So speed rev 134, 130 to 135 on the speed. So we've got the localizer there as well. So that's fine, as we've got no charts to run by reference. That was a good job that I did take one in to actually screenshot, so we can actually get everything all in for us. So there we are, which is the India Alpha Oscar Sierra. Speed rev 40 plus 30, auto brake max. As we now get ready to come in on arrival. So it's a 5-degree arrival, 5-degree glide slope, 140, 135, so we're looking around about 1150 on the descent. As we pass through 20,000 feet, we need to get to 9,004. Speed brakes are now open. I'm going to slow the aircraft right the way down. Under 210, speed brakes can now go in as we pass at 19,000 feet. Okay, engine anti-ice, which is -10, we'll leave that one for now. And we'll drop in the speed brakes just to slow us down that a little bit more. So we're going to come in right there. Okay. So that's us coming in on the descent, 19,000 for 9. It's going to be a bit of a drop. Come down. I'm going to slow the aircraft right the way down as well. So I'm going to drop into a flaps 10. It's going to be quite high to drop the flaps out. And speed brakes are armed. So very slow now, so we can come down. Level change, flaps 5. Flaps 10's 210. See a localizer and the glide slopes there, ready to come in. So hopefully by the time we get round the bend, we may be able to get back in on the approach. 17,009 now. So we just need the aircrafts, as we're on a tailwind of 22 knots. So it's really just a case of going like the clappers. So QNH now can be set back over, which is going to be 1025. Okay, which is set. Now we have enough speed brakes to help along with the speed, as I want to get down pretty sharpish. 9,005, 8 to go. Then we'll turn around and come into that descent. So yeah, it was literally just play it by ear and touch and go on this one. Wasn't a there ain't really any charts. There's one chart that I've got. That's the one that we're following right now, as we couldn't get in any of the other fixes. So by holding the hold there, I'm basically just holding it through. So I'm going to get the flight recorder replay system on, so you guys can check out the replay once we do come in. There'll be a sudden pause just for a second. So that will come back, and then we can get ready to come down. Okay, so there's the aircraft back now. I'm going to go into that left-hand turn now. As we are very, very high. Get down for 9,500. We then start to get the descent down at 1,004. That should hold us right there. 1,005 a minute. 3 and 2. So we should just make it in time then to intercept. Then we get the aircraft in, ready to come down, straight down into the valley. Pass through 15,002. So the aircraft's fully set up now, ready to come in. All we've got to do is run around this bend, and then we can start to come down on the descent profile. So the airport's elevation is 1800. Once we wait for that to come in. Onto that left-hand turn we go. $17, $18, $19, $20, $20.75, 4 DME. We're going to lock around, and that should be us ready to come down on the approach. We need to disconnect at 4 DME, and it'll be all good and set to come in. Now you're passing through 13,006. I'll activate the approach. It's only a localizer. We come down for 11,000 feet per minute. Hey, 12,009. Into his last left-hand turn. Okay, so I hold it there. Localizer's going to come in. Okay, localizer's checked. So it's going to be a steep one. 22 nautical miles now to go. Okay, down to 9,005. Then on the descent from there, we're looking around for 135, we're looking around 1100 feet per minute on the descent. It's obviously on the approach. It's only with the localizer which is there. There's the glide slope now. That's 15, gear down. As we now start that descent. Laps 30. And we've got our V speed, which is going to be a 135. Okay, which is checked. Laps 40, which is set. Passing through 10,000 feet now. On a single channel, all the way down at 4 DME, we need to disconnect 4 DME, which will be at 3009. Basically going to disconnect and then line up. The localizer's offset by 5 degrees. Speed brakes, which can be armed, which are checked. And we are now established, ready to come in. Very steep, so 5-degree glide path. Okay, passing through 8003, 6 knot headwind. Okay, the runway is going to be just around the bend right there. As we can see, the airport's just there. As we come in, 4 DME, we're going to disconnect, hold it around for around 1100 feet per minute. Okay, so landing checklist, gears down 3 green, flaps 40, green light, auto brake set for max, packs auto, bleeds are on, cabin has been advised, engine anti-ice now can be turned off, give us a lower idle speed of 3% less, and we are established now, ready to come in on the approach. 4 DME we disconnect, that's where the localizer finishes, and then we fly manually, visually down into runway. You can see the runway, which is just hiding just around this part of the curve. There's the runway right there. So we need to basically just come around, swing into a right to a left, and then we'll be straight in. Got a replay system in as well, so we can check that out. And we'll see what we can do. Okay, so when we get to 4 DME, right here, we can have a look at our altitude to DME reference. Once we get down to 7 DME, we need to be at 5,500. 7 DME, just around 100 to 180 feet, just above. Okay, which will be fine for us. Runway, as we can say, is right there, and we are set to come in. So, 2.5 DME, we disconnect, and then we run straight down. Okay, 6 DME passing. Lovely views. Don't know what's going on over that side. Lovely views as we come in. Straight through the valley. Okay, 5 DME, 1 DME to go, then we disconnect. Fly visually down into the runway. Looking for around 1100 feet per minute. And our V speed is at 135. Okay, 4.4. .1. Okay, I have control. .135 on our V speed.
Caution, terrain.
Yeah, we know the terrain. There's our 135. Continue the descent down.
Caution, terrain. Caution, terrain.
Okay, as we come over to the right.
Caution, terrain.
Auto brakes max.
Caution, terrain. Terrain, terrain. Pull up. Terrain, terrain. Pull up. Caution,
Okay, probably get a
terrain.
glide slope warning. It's going to fly visually now.
Caution, terrain.
There's a glide slope warning.
Caution, terrain, terrain. Pull up. Terrain, terrain. Pull
A little bit of
up.
left rudder, just to compensate.
Terrain, terrain. Pull up. 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 Terrain,
Yeah, we get
terrain.
right over the
Pull
threshold.
up. Terrain, terrain. Pull up.
Get nice and low so we've got enough
Terrain,
runway.
terrain. Pull up. Terrain, terrain. Pull up.
Okay,
20.
chart to
10.
photo. Okay. Speed brakes are up and reversers are active. Max reverse. Come to a complete stop. Okay, reversers can be stowed. Manual braking right off to the end. And welcome to Aosta. Okay, as we now just slow the aircraft down, ready to turn off. So there's something in that sort of section right there that's causing that sudden drop in frames over in that direction. Once we move over to the right hand side, then that'll be it. Yeah, that's it, my men. Figured it out in the end, because we didn't have no charts to go by. I've only got one chart, which was the one chart that I had to use. And you can see when we were setting up that there was obviously some sort of miscalculation in the FMC when rising in. But we've got the flight recorder replay as well, which we can also check out the approach coming in. And get the APU all started up, ready to go. Not that we're going to need it, I'm going to go show you guys the replay system as we come in. Flap's going to be fully retracted now. Speed brake can be retracted as well. And welcome to Aosta Airport. So there's something in that direction that's causing that to happen. I'm not sure what it is. No, we'll come a bit over to the left so we don't take out the lovely hangar. Okay, so we get our landing lights already turned off, so everything can go off. Switch over the APU 1 and 2, and we can now turn in. As we get ready to go, I'm just going to turn her in here. Okay, going to stop here. Hey, thanks my man. Glad you enjoyed it. It's actually a nice arrival. Wasn't too bad, eh? I'm going to leave the engines running now as we stop the replay system, and then I can load that up and can check out the arrival. So again, it was another one that had to be a little bit firm as we didn't have much time to waste or hang about. But it was a lovely visual approach coming in. We found our way in the end and got there just about in time. Okay, so let's have a look, see whereabouts we are. Let's get down on the ground so we can have a look outside and see whereabouts we are. Let's make it over on that side. Don't know if it will run. We'll run it over on this right hand side. So obviously it was a little bit stuck on the other side. So we'll run this side of the view. What a lovely view of the airport. It's actually a very scenic approach. Lovely. Okay, so that'll do about there. Reset the replay system back up as we come up. You guys see some of the views as we come in. There we go. And I'll leave you with the replay now, guys. So thanks for joining me this evening. Thanks to all the new subscribers that subscribed tonight. I really appreciate your support. And I'll see all of you guys tomorrow for the next available flight on the channel. So stay safe and I'll see you all very soon. Bye bye.